Alright, so you're not gonna need a lot of things for this one. You're just gonna need one of these. You're gonna need a USB to USB, so female USB to male USB cable. You'll need a fuse tap. You'll need a regular car 12-volt charger. This is a fast charging one, because if you want fast charging, then you should get one of these. And yeah, that's everything that you'll need for this, actually. So I've already gone ahead and taken out the radio and undid the old one that I used to have in, so the old USB thing is not there anymore. So that's already done. If you wanted to kind of see how to take this off, then watch my previous video on this. I'll also try link it in the description and put a little thing on the screen that'll pop up, so you can just click that and it'll take you to the video. But to start with, we're just going to measure out how much of this cable we actually need and cut off what we don't. So yeah, a better way to measure this is I'm just going to cut off this end here, because I'm not going to use this side anyway. So I'm just going to cut off this wire, because I'm going to feed it through the side here of where the radio is, and then through like this area. So, and this is too big to fit through there. And since we're not going to use this anyway, I'm just going to chop it off here, then measure it out how long I need, and then cut it off. When you push the cable through there, whilst you're pushing it through, you want to bring it round about here when you push it behind. And then if you just put your hand through this gap here, whilst you're pushing it through this side, you can then feel the wire. You can then grab it through. So I've grabbed it through. There's the rest of it. So I'm just going to drag over what I need and measure out how much of this cable I actually need. Alright, so I've just pulled through the rest of the wires from this cable. They're not connected to anything, but I've just pulled it through to neaten up here. So now I'm going to put in the USB extension cable. So in this little gap down here, I hope you can see it. Look, there's a hole right here. There used to be a piece of plastic thing there, but mine's not there because I obviously took that up before. But if you still have it, you can pry it up. It's a real pain to get out of there from when I tried to do it, but if you have at it, you'll get it out eventually. So you want to pry that out and then shove the male end of the USB in that hole, and you want to push it out to like the side, because this panel here, it can flap up, as you see. So you want to push it through this panel there. So if I push the cable down to the left, yeah, there we go. As you see, it's come out through the panel, and I can pull it, and then you can push this in, and you can just push that down in there, and that USB cable is now sat in place, and the other side is now over here. But this looks ugly, so you want to push the cable all the way to the end. Bit of a stretch. You can pull back this. That's going to be quite hard to do from here with one hand, but you want to push it all the way to the end of this panel, get it round it, and then through the radio hole at like the bottom left area here, there's a hole. I wish I had better lighting, but there's a hole in the bottom left. I'll probably insert a clip from my old video so that you guys can see better, because I had better lighting that day. Where my finger is, which you might be able to see on the camera there. Yeah, where the light's coming from, that's where you run it up. But you just want to feed that wire, like once you get it round there, there's a hole literally right here. If you put your hand there in your car, you'll see it. But you can feed it up here and it will come up through that hole right there. Okay, so the cable's now behind that plastic trim, so now it should be easier to get what I'm on about. So now that it's here, you can literally feed it up through this hole, through the side there, and as you can see up top, it comes through. So you just want to feed it through that hole that's actually right here, and it comes up through the top. And here's the cable. Now from there, all you want to do is you want to get your 12 socket car or USB charger thing, and you want to put it in here. There you go, just like that. And then you want to get the male end of the USB and plug that in. Alright, there you go, that's plugged in. So now this part of the wiring is done. All we're going to do now is focus on the other end of this wire, because we need power to come through the wire. So now we're going to deal with this end. As far as this goes, this is done. You can tuck that behind your radio, put your radio back in, and all of that stuff. Drop this behind the radio, like so. Pull up the wires for the radio, make sure that's good. I'm not going to put my radio back in just yet. I'm going to test everything first before I go ahead and put it back in. But yeah, so now we're going to deal with this side. Okay, so I've run both the cables, you know, through the gap, and there's a little hole on top here. I've put it through, so the positive comes out here by the fuse box. Then the negative one, I continued running it through here, and it comes out here. And I've trimmed the cables to the size that I want them at now. So the negative side we're going to connect to a screw hole that's behind here, which I'll show you in a bit. And the positive side, which is here, we're going to connect onto our fuse tap. So we're just gonna what's it called, strip the end of this wire here, put it in here, crimp it, and plug the fuse back into where it goes. So I'll do that and show you guys. Alright, so when I put this fuse tap into the fuse box, I'm gonna put it in this way, because I've realized in the Polo the bottom side is where the power comes through, and you want the power to come through this side and then go this way. I'm not going to sit here and try explain to you how you know which side the fuse goes and all of that, but because I am not the most knowledgeable on that, so what I'll do is I'll link a video below, or 2 videos, and they'll explain better as to what to do with the fuse thing. But if you have a Polo, you can pretty much just follow what I do and it'll work out for you. So we've got the original fuse that was in the car, the 15 amp fuse for the cigarette lighter. So what I'm going to do now is put the second fuse up in the top. From what I saw in one of the videos I watched, that the fuse that goes in the top should be lower than the fuse in the bottom. So I'm just going to put a 10 amp fuse in the top, and then I'm going to put this back up in there and connect this positive wire. Alright, so this has been crimped onto the fuse tap. So now you can just push this wire up through here a bit and then plug back in the fuse. Alright, so now the fuse is plugged in again, right there. So all we have to worry about now is this wire. So I've already trimmed the edge off, and that's going to connect onto this. I'm going to put this in, and then it's going to bolt into this hole right here. There will be a screw already here, so you can just take that out, then slip this over the hole with the wire in here, and then bolt it back into here. So I'm going to do that and show you what it looks like. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's in there now. So the screw's in there, the wire goes down there. I'm touching it right now. So negative's connected, the positive's connected. There will be a cover here. You just pry it off and then you can pull it out, so that won't be a problem. So everything's all connected up now, so now we just have to test it. So I'm gonna grab a phone or something and plug it in there and test it. Alright, so I've put back in the radio, I've put back on the fuse covers and all of that. I've already tested it and it works, and so I've put everything back together. So you have a USB cable in here, I've got a phone here. The car's currently off. How do I work this thing? As you see, there's no charging. It's not charging. So on 44%, it's not charging right now, as you saw. But when I turn on the car, alright, the phone's now lit up. Let's just get that screen to come back. Oh, never mind. It says fast charging, 44%, 1 hour until full. So that shows that the fast charging is working. And yeah, so this all works. It's all good. When I turn off the car, it stops charging. So that's good, because that should help with battery life and all of that. So yeah, that was the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe, do all that stuff. And until next time, peace.